The Galaxy's Edge comics have been telling the story of the First Order and a group of mercenaries both trying to steal a Sith relic from Dok Ondar. In issue number 4, we finally learned what it was called, the Sword of Khashyun. According to Dr. Aphra, it was forged by a sect of Dawoodin Sith warriors who believed lightsabers were for the weak, and that only a truly worthy warrior would have the strength to wield it. She travels to Moraband with Dok Ondar to a Dawoodin temple, and after making her way through a number of traps, retrieves the sword, but is abandoned there by Dok. Decades later, the sword has caught the eye of Kylo Ren as well as the mysterious benefactor of some mercenaries. It sounds like the relic has been broken into two pieces, the hilt and the blade. Dok Ondar has the hilt, and the mercenaries already have the blade and are looking to rejoin the two halves. Ondar fears that it will be too much power in the wrong hands, so it makes sense that Kylo Ren would be after it. The Sword of Khashyun has been my favorite ongoing reveal in the Galaxy's Edge comic. I wasn't expecting the series to have such an intriguing story, but it's working for me, and I'm enjoying the subtle ties back to Legends. Dok Ondar's concerns that the sword is too powerful leads me to believe that it's imbued with the power of the Force in some way, and Force swords have been in Star Wars since the Tales of the Jedi comics in 1998, but more prominently in the book Dawn of the Jedi in 2013. I'd kind of be surprised if Force-imbued blades wound up being part of the development of the lightsaber itself, like they were in Legends, but the idea of this Dawoodin group of Sith using swords instead of lightsabers like some kind of warrior's challenge is a fun one. And the idea of a Dawoodin-specific group of Sith at all is very interesting. Other than the actual Sith species from Legends, I can't recall the Sith ever separating themselves like that. Speaking of the Sith species, I've heard people guessing that these statues with the face tendrils could be our first canon look at them, but I think they're just Dawoodin since they have those two facial tusks on their chins. And while we're talking about Moraband, in case you missed my Myths and Fables videos the past week or so, it's been confirmed that Korriban is once again one of the names for the Sith homeworld. That's been hinted at up until now, but Myths and Fables actually used it in a story. But back to the sword, does this mean anything for the story of Galaxy's Edge or Episode 9? Probably not. The backstory for Galaxy's Edge does speak of both the Resistance and the First Order seeking a relic that could turn the tide of the war, and this could be it. But I'd be absolutely shocked if the Sword of Khashyun winds up in The Rise of Skywalker as some sort of MacGuffin. I expect by the end of issue 5 in September, the sword will be separated thanks to the efforts of Dok Ondar, and will not play into the rest of the Skywalker saga. But I do think it's a really cool MacGuffin that we could potentially learn more about through future comics, books, or even movies when we jump back into ancient times. But what do you guys think? Will the Sword of Khashyun play any part in the final chapter of the Skywalker saga? Do you like the sword and the story surrounding it? Let me know in the comments. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.